Hi guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico here. Rufus is not here with me today. He's home sleeping like a baby. Um, First chance I've had really to talk to you guys since the trip to Itchituckney Springs. Just want to say it was a great time and met some great people. Um, and a lot of the comments that you're leaving have to do with how did Guz perform, things of that nature. So, and I am going to get to answering some of those comments. I've just been back and forth to the doctor, a lot of stuff going on. So been real busy, but I will get to those comments. Um, all right, first I just mentioned my health. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. Um, Everything is fine with the infection that I had. That's great. But now we're moving on to the issues that were causing me problems. I had problems with my legs. We have an appointment set up in November for that to get that worked on. But in the meantime, this Friday on the 9th, I have to go for a heart catheterization, and hopefully everything will be well. But that's the way they find out, I guess. And if there's a problem, maybe they'll fix it at that time with stents or something. But just wanted to let you know that. So there's a lot on my mind about my health. The diabetes seems to be under control, but I won't know for sure until I get to the doctor on the 26th of October. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got appointments all the way out into December after Christmas. So it doesn't look like I'm going anyplace before the end of December. And hopefully that'll be taken care of. I really want to get out west. I really want to enjoy some of the beautiful places out there. But let me get back to the comments, the questions you had about Guz. How did Guz perform? Guz performed mechanically well. As far as driving, cruising, everything was perfect. He really ran well. Do I have some issues? Yes. Number one, I think that the fuel usage at 5 miles per gallon is a bit high. Also, I had an issue with when I'd stop for a stoplight or something like that and idle. Guz wanted to stall. That's pretty unusual for a fuel injected engine. And the other thing is that, as you know, and everything's related, by the way. I think this mileage issue is related uh, to the fuel pump, and I think that the stalling is related to the fuel pump, and I think that the other problem is related to the fuel pump. So when Ulf worked on this thing, he really didn't do me any favors. He never fixed a problem, and he actually created more problems, okay, by deviating from what was factory. So here's the theory on the mileage. I believe that we have a fuel pump that's probably overrated for the system and is actually delivering way too much fuel to the rail. The fuel pressure regulator is doing its job, but you know if there's a ton of pressure and a ton of volume, it's not going to be able to compensate, which would cause it to bleed by the injectors and such. So I think that's affecting the miles. I think that part of this stalling issue, because I can smell gas, it smells very rich. I think that's also due to probably an overrated fuel pump for the system. I think that could be causing the problem. And yeah, definitely on the stalling. Now, I lost my train of thought there for a minute. If I skip something, I might have to go back to that. But in any case, when I got home, after the vehicle had been running really well and such, except for the stalling and except for the what I consider to be excessive fuel consumption, I wanted to put some gas in and see what my total gas mileage was going to be for the trip that day. So on Monday morning, or Monday afternoon actually, when I got back home, I went to fill the vehicle up, and I had another problem. Always an unusual problem, mind you. I did not have this problem before. But I went to put fuel in, and it kept shutting the pump off almost instantaneously. And I messed with it for about 20 minutes until I just determined that there's no venting going on. Something is wrong there. The vent going into the fuel tank is either blocked or something. Okay, and this also might be related to the fact that Ulf had the tank in and out so many damn times. God knows what happened there. He just couldn't get that fuel pump out of his mind. So I called Jeff right while I was fueling up, and you know Jeff has been like my savior, my hero. This guy is like knows everything about RVs, And I called him and I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Well, it's probably a vent problem." And we started to talk about the other issues, the miles per gallon, the stalling, and the fact that, oh, I know what the other thing was, the fact that of all things in a vehicle like this, put in a fuel pump that has no check valve. So whenever you shut the engine off, the fuel drains right back to the tank. And what it does is I have to turn the key on, not to the point where it starts, but key on, key off, key on, key off, and then try and start it. It's putting a lot of strain on the starter. So that's NG. So when I talked to Jeff, and we talked about all these things, Jeff was super nice, and he agreed to take a look at the vent, excuse me, pipe, what's causing us not to get fuel into the tank, whether it's a kink or something. So it's probably going to require work down there. And I asked him very kindly, I guess I almost begged him, if you want to call it that, if he would be kind enough to please put the old Ford fuel pump back in, and match it up with the regulator that is the old regulator that was in there, so that we know we have the proper pump in and we're not blowing fuel by the injectors, and we've got a nice check valve in there which will eliminate that starting problem, the whole 9 yards. I mean, basically I'm asking Jeff to do what Ulf messed up, and technically Ulf should fix it, but if he messed it up the first time, who's to say that the second time he's going to do me right? He could be very upset or whatever, and God knows what. So I don't want to deal with that. I got burned once there, no sense going back to the fire and getting burned again. I'm very, very fortunate that Jeff agreed to do this for me, and I just don't know how to thank the guy. I can't say enough good things about him. Now, a couple of you guys had mentioned if you could talk to Jeff with your problems that you have on RVs. And I mentioned it to Jeff. And Jeff really doesn't want to be inundated with phone calls, and he didn't want to put his number out there. But he did say that if you guys contacted me, let's say private messaged me, okay, and mentioned to me that you would like to get in touch with Jeff, you could leave me your contact information, your phone number and such, and a small description of what the problem is, and I will forward that information to Jeff. And beyond that, I can't guarantee that he would follow up on it, but I got to tell you something. He's a pretty good guy, and he always does his best, and he likes to help people. And I'm sure that he would follow up on it. So yes, he said, if you guys have some issues or a problem that you'd like to ask him about, if you kind of funnel it through me, just so he doesn't get a whole bunch of phone calls and emails. He just doesn't want that. And he's got things the way he wants it. He works at his level, and that's it. So I thought that was great news. I wanted to share that with you. And basically that's it in a nutshell. I have everything in the RV worked great. The refrigerator, the toilet, the microwave, the generator, everything worked great. No problems whatsoever. Just unbelievable. The only problem, okay, and they're not being able to put gas in the motorhome is kind of huge, okay? So I'm stuck until Jeff takes a look at it. But the other problem, not very great fuel mileage, which might get corrected if we put the correct fuel pump in. I really have confidence that I might pick up another 1 to 3 miles per gallon if we get that old that Ford fuel pump in, the one that's supposed to be there. The other thing is the lack of the check valve in the fuel line, which create, or in the fuel pump, which creates a situation where the gas backs back up into the tank. So that's 2. And number 3, the stalling, which I do believe is being caused by that same maybe too high a pressure, too high a volume situation where it's just flooding the engine out even when it's idling. So that's how things were with the RV. Are these things repairable? Yes. Should they have been a problem? No. But what am I going to tell you? I was unlucky enough to go to the wrong place to try and get something fixed, which was a bear, and it turned out that Jeff's been the hero throughout, from beginning to end. He knew what was wrong with the initial problem in the exhaust and such. Oh, and that's another question. Apparently, a lot of you guys like how this thing sounds when I'm driving it, and I got to tell you, I like it too, and want to know what kind of mufflers I'm running. Well, I'm not. I'm not running any mufflers. It's open pipes. So what can I tell you? But it does sound good, really good. Yeah, excellent. And it's not loud. It's just got a little rumble to it, and kind of nice. It's like a high performance. Sounds like a Mustang, really, a high performance Mustang. So that's it, folks. Just short and sweet. Wanted to let you know what's going on. Thank you again for all your wonderful comments and support. And I do have 2 more videos that I can put up from the trip. One of them is this my video of the spring that it exists there at Ichetuckney Park, and I'm saying that word right now. Remember, I told you I'd get that nailed down, and I did. Ichetuckney. I can say it 3. I mean, it's like Beetlejuice now. I can say it. So, and I also have a little bit of video from the area that I was parked in and what it looked like from my point of view coming out of my door. And a very interesting beetle, a very interesting beetle that stole Rufus's poop. Yeah, I got a video of that. So if you guys want to see it, if you want me to post those videos, let me know in the comments, and I will. And once again, thanks for your support, people. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye. And Rufus says bye.